The Frostbound Oath, Part 3, Bride of the Snow. The hollow closed around me, its circle of bone totems bending like trees in a storm. My breath came sharp, crystallizing in the air, each exhale stolen by the freezing wind. The pale woman extended her hand, her backward fingers bending with a sickening grace. "It is finished," she whispered. "The line is sealed. You are bound as your uncle was bound, as all will be bound." The ring burned on my finger, colder than steel, heavier than stone. I tried to wrench it off, but my skin tore before the band even shifted. Blood welled, red and steaming, only to freeze against my wrist. The frozen dead around me leaned forward, hungry, as if the scent of living warmth stirred them from centuries of silence. I screamed, but the hollow devoured sound. Only the wind answered. The pale woman drew closer. Her face, though beautiful, was brittle like ice about to shatter. Her eyes burned with blue flame, and in their depths I saw visions. Generations of my bloodline dragged into the snow, swallowed by the Frost Father's hunger. I saw fields of white where no harvest grew, only bodies stiff beneath the drifts. And at the center of it all, a throne of ice crowned with skulls. The Hollow King, Morocco himself. His shape filled the vision, taller than the pines. His beard a storm of icicles. His crown jagged with shards of frozen bone. When he spoke, the hollow trembled. One life, one winter, one oath, unbroken. The woman pressed her hand to my chest. A cold like death surged through me. My knees buckled, and the frozen dead surged closer, their whispers threading into my ears. "Bride of the snow, bride of the snow." I stumbled backward, clutching at the totems. Their surfaces were slick with ice, but beneath it I felt carvings marks cut deep, older than the village, older than Christ. My uncle's journal had warned. The oath cannot be broken, but it may be turned. I seized a shard of bone from one of the totems and slashed at my palm. Blood spilled into the snow, steaming, staining the white. The figures stopped, their heads tilting. The pale woman hissed, her teeth sharp as splinters. I shouted into the storm, "If blood binds the oath, then take my not as tribute, but as defiance." The ground shuddered. The hollow wailed with wind. The woman's form cracked, fractures spreading across her like glass in frost. Her scream rose higher, echoing into the trees. The frozen dead staggered, their whispers faltering. Then the snow opened beneath me. I fell, tumbling into darkness, lantern light swallowed in a single breath. When I struck ground, I found myself in a cavern of ice. Blue fire burnt along its walls, and in the center sat the Hollow King upon his frozen throne. His gaze pierced me, colder than death itself. "You offer blood," he said. The cavern echoed with his voice. "But you refuse to kneel." I stood, trembling, my hand dripping red onto the frozen floor. "The oath ends with me." For a moment, silence ruled. Then the king rose, towering over me. His steps cracked the ice, each one a quake. He reached down, vast hand stretching, and plucked the iron ring from my finger without touching it. It hovered in the air, glowing faintly blue. He studied it, then crushed it to dust. The shards fell, hissing, into the ice. The cavern shook. The walls split. The blue flames guttered out. The Hollow King's body fractured like glass. He let out a roar half-storm, half-human, and shattered into 1,000 shards of frost. The cavern collapsed. I woke in the snow at dawn. The hollow was empty. No totems, no woman. Only my blood staining the white, half buried by drifting flakes. My uncle's journal lay beside me, its pages blank, as if the ink had been swallowed. When I returned to the village, no one spoke. The priest looked at me with awe and fear. "The storm has broken," he whispered, and it had above us. The sun pierced the clouds, weak but warm, the first in months. But even now, as I write these words, I hear whispers at the edge of sleep. The villagers call me Savior, breaker of the oath. Yet, in the glass of the window, when the frost creeps at night, I see her face, the pale woman's smile, patient, waiting. And sometimes, in the silence of winter, I hear them again. The frozen voices, the chant carried on the wind. Bride of the snow, bride of the snow, bride of the snow, bride of the snow.